Welcome to Business Talk, presented in collaboration with the University of Rio Grande and the Ohio State University South Centers from the heart of southeastern Ohio at the University of Rio Grande TV studio. Our goals are simple: promote the University of Rio Grande and the Ohio State University South Centers, as well as advocate local small business and their support organizations. More importantly, to promote southeastern Ohio as a wonderful place to live, explore and learn. There are many different ways you can find us. The University of Rio Grande Cable Access Channel 17, live online at blogtalkradio.com, and on YouTube if you are unable to catch our show live. Introducing our co-hosts, from the University of Rio Grande, Jason Winters, Director of the Center for Small Business Entrepreneurship, Mike Thompson, Director of the Instructional Design and Media Services, and Patrick Dengel, Business Development Specialist from the Ohio State University South Centers. Thanks for tuning in, and we hope you enjoy the show. It is my pleasure today to introduce Kinglsey Meyer, Director of Campus Computing and Networking at the University of Rio Grande. Welcome, Kingsley.
Good afternoon. I'm Kinglsey Meyer, and it's a great opportunity to be back here at the University of Rio Grande for our Blog Talk radio session. I was invited by Pat and Jason to talk today about wireless networks for the Rio Grande campus. Talk a little bit about where broadband is today and where it's headed in the future, and talking a little bit more about how people interface with the technology in our information environment. One of the things that I've done recently is try to get back to unplugging, and I think this week we had an unplugged day. It was a national day where everybody was supposed to unplug their cellular phones and their computers and see if they could do it the old-fashioned way. And so I've been trying to read some new books, and I believe we're going to talk a little bit about a book that Nicholas Carr wrote called The Shallows. One of the ideas that he has in that book is that we have gotten so reliant on being able to search for things on the internet and consuming our information in little bits and pieces, and we've actually rewired our brain a little bit so that we can't have deep thought and we're not holding as much information as we used to. I think that'll be an interesting discussion. Back to the wireless. Rio Grande is very fortunate to have just approved a wireless expansion here on our campus, and this project is already undergoing. We've got folks working in our residence halls, pulling wires in each of the floors for the wireless network. That seems like a bit of a contradiction to have wires for a wireless network, but the signals need to go from each of the access points back to the head-end network equipment so that they can then go off to their internet connections. So we're starting with the wiring, and from there we'll receive all the equipment, mount them, and get the controllers in place and configured and ready to go. We expect to have not only a guest network on campus, but we will also have one specific for the ResNet population. Their needs are a little bit different than the administrative and academic environments here on campus, so we'll be able to isolate their traffic and send it off to a dedicated connection to our friends at Horizon Telecom out of Chillicothe, Ohio. Horizon's been real busy here lately in the expansion of broadband through southeastern Ohio. In fact, they were one of the 4 groups in the Ohio Middle Mile Consortium that received stimulus money and were building out a system of fiber optic networks throughout our state. Hooking back into the Ohio State University network called ORNet, which our governor announced 100 gigabyte capacity expansion this year. That was going to be the backbone, and now 4 of the groups are branching out into each of the counties, hitting all of the schools, the public health facilities, government offices, industrial parks. So this is great for us. Rio Grande was one of the early schools to get connections through Horizon, and we'll be able to take our ResNet traffic and give it off directly to that connection. The remaining of Rio Grande's network goes off to the Ohio State University ORNet through connections through both Horizon and AT&T. I'm going to try to keep it real simple today, and I'm sure we'll just have a good general discussion about what's going to happen, our time frame on when we see this going to be being turned back on so that the 50 hotspots that we have today will become the 250 new controlled access points of the future. Where this takes us, we don't know, but this, I think, is a call to action for us to really look seriously at our instruction and learning. It's a BYOD environment today. That means bring your own device. For network security people, it also means bring your own disaster. Bring your own software. What happens when everybody has their own device, whether it be a tablet, a smartphone, or a wireless laptop, and they're trying to accomplish the same thing? We went from an environment where everybody had computers in computer labs, and that business, or in this case, our school, maintained and controlled them all. We work real hard to make sure our labs always have a consistent experience every time a student or faculty member signs on. But what happens when everybody brings their own device? Is it chaotic, or is it actually a move towards freedom and mobility? Well, the jury is out on that, but the goal is not only to provide the flexibility so you can bring your own device, take it home with you, travel with it, but have access to your applications and your stored documents at any time. What happens when you need to get to a printer? What happens when you need to get a hold of other peripheral devices? Well, that's why IT jobs are, I guess, pretty secure in the future. We look forward to seeing what these new challenges are going to be and where this will lead us in the future. I'm sure Pat, Mike, Jason will have lots of questions, and the thing that's great about this is it's a conversation. It's not going to be just me talking. Hopefully, I can stop talking real soon.